Now, as most of you already know, that inflation in South Africa continue rising as we are currently sitting at an inflation of around 7.4%. Ladies and gents, towards the end of last week, we received wonderful news of saying that consumers might see some of the product which they use on a day-to-day declining by over 2 rands. Now, you know that obviously, as I'm saying, inflation, it's one of the cost of living in South Africa is something that is rising drastically, and like I said, it is hurting the consumers. But one of the things that obviously the central bank it's trying to do or continues doing is to increase interest rates, trying to curb this inflation or the cost of living, which is something that one way or the other, I think it's definitely going to get or this inflation to stabilize, or we are going to get, of course, the prices of the products we use on a day-to-day here in South Africa stabilizing, which is something that is incredible. And last week, like I said, we got to read wonderful news of saying that one of the products that we use on a day-to-day is going to, or we might see its prices decreasing by over 2 rands. But before we get deep into that conversation or that article, you already know that this video is just an entertainment video and you should not take it as a professional financial advice video. Now, I really appreciate if you can just hit that likes button, comment and subscribe. That's if you have not subscribed to the channel already. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I release a new video. Now, without wasting any more time, the product that we might see it, ladies and gents, decreasing this week in terms of the price is none other than Petrol Price. Now, this is something that obviously those of you that have been following me, I've been hinting that, of course, due to the fact of the oil per barrel prices plummeting or decreasing or trading below $100 per barrel, this might have a good impact, or this might bring in some good news to global fuel prices, which is something that is incredible and something that we are seeing. And of course, in our country, it is projected that, ladies and gents, we can see prices of petrol going down by over 2 rands per liter, which is something that is incredible. And this, ladies and gents, is one of the things that I personally believe that consumers are going to really like. Though the petrol will still be very high, but to get a 2 rands decline, I think it will bring in some relief here and there, which is something that, like I said, consumers will be very happy about. Now, but something to note, guys, is that for these 2 rands petrol decrease to come in SA, I think our ZAR to USD, or the exchange rate of our South African rands against the US dollar, has to remain where it is right now, or at least improve in terms of strength. That's when chances are high that we'll get over 2 rands per liter in terms of the decrease from this petrol price. But otherwise, if the ours currency loses or continues weakening against the US dollars, then we are going to see, of course, even the decrease becoming smaller in terms of course, the amount that the petrol drops by. So let's just pray. But so far so good. I think that our currency or our local currency is doing well against of course the US dollar, which is something that is incredible, or it's gaining strength, which is something that is incredible and something that makes me want to easily say that we might see, of course, this 2 rands decrease in terms of the petrol price, which is something that is incredible. And as I've said, this decrease, ladies and gents, is coming after the Brent crude oil has been, of course, declining in terms of the price per barrel. I mean, right now it's below $100 per barrel, which is something that obviously has to make, of course, the petrol prices or the gas prices to go down, as this was one of the main factors that were influencing the prices of petrol locally or globally to increase. So this is good news to investors, because you remember that these petrol price hikes or these petrol prices have a huge impact on the consumer price index, on the CPI, which is why it is important, or it is good news to investors to get to see that obviously the prices of petrol are coming down, which, ladies and gents, might result in inflation the next time it gets reported declining due to this, because like I said, petrol is one of the things that of course contribute towards the inflation numbers, and to get to see that petrol might be of course coming down by over 2 rands is going to definitely bring in positive things into, of course, inflation. We might see inflation either not growing by much or even decreasing in the next actually this month, which is something that is incredible and something that is good news to investors, because we know that even when it comes to interest rate hikes, maybe the central bank won't be aggressive by much due to the fact that we won't see, of course, high inflation numbers due to, of course, the prices of petrol dropping or plummeting. So these are some of the good news that I just thought I should just share with you, because, ladies and gents, inflation is one of the things that, as consumers, as investors, obviously we don't want that, because as consumers, yes, it affects our pockets so much, and as investors, it also affects the companies that we invest in, because some of the product services which they offer, not many consumers are going to afford them, which is something that obviously will lead in those companies that we invest in, of course, dropping in terms of revenues, or not reporting the kind of revenues that you would want as a retail investor. So getting to know that, of course, the prices of oil or the prices of petrol are going to decrease, or we might see a 2 rands decrease in the prices of petrol in South Africa. It's one of the things that obviously makes us to be hopeful in terms of the, of course, companies we invest in locally, because this just means that they might be hope of us seeing, of course, those companies continue reporting the good revenues that they've always been reporting, because, like I said, high inflation affects companies in terms of sales not growing, of course, like I said, because prices of the product services we need on a day-to-day continue rising, and when they rise, some of us or some of the consumers won't be or cannot be able to afford those kind of services, which then means that most of them or some of them won't continue paying for those services, or won't continue buying those products, which, ladies and gents, like I said, leads in companies, institutions reporting losses or reporting lower revenues comparing to the revenues they were reporting before the inflation got this high. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I should just give you this quick update. Otherwise, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell, so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey. And before you load a board onto a stock, onto a company, please consider doing your own due diligence, so that at least you can be comfortable when you are investing in the stock market. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.